Hey everyone, Brad Thorpe from Isophit. Today on Isophit Q&A, we got the question, can Isophit help my daughter's volleyball? Well, yes it can. It really can. Now, it's interesting because when you're looking at such a complex sport such as volleyball, it really depends on what aspect of volleyball you're discussing, right? You could be talking about offensive strategies, defensive strategies. Are we talking about a bump, a set, a spike, a gathering for a spike? Are we talking about injury prevention or performance enhancement? Now, the cool thing is with everything I just listed, Isophit helps with every single facet of that. Whether you're looking at patellar knee pain, shoulder pain, vertical jump distance. Now, how can I boldly sit here and state that? Well, because Isophit and isometric-based strength training pretty much transfers to every activity you guys choose. I look at volleyball as a marketing term for a specific set of rules and a specific set of skills. It's not much different to me than basketball. Obviously, how you score and play the sport is different. But the function of your nervous system and the function of your muscular system, your cardiovascular system, are all pretty much the same. Can you contract muscles on demand? And can you generate force? Can you withstand force? Or do you crumble under pressure? Those are some things that we have to address. Now, let's take shoulder mechanics. Well, if you're talking about a serve, that's one thing. If you're talking about a spike attack, totally different. But understanding how the muscles work and how you apply force to those structures matter. So let's go back to the Isophit MSK. We're going to look at how we sort of maximize both the reach as well as the contact for a spike. That's what we'll look at today. So one thing that we can look at is your body position and orientation, right? So in order to reach high above your head, you have to use a combined grouping of tissues that stabilize your shoulder complex, right? You have your serratus anterior, which is a muscle that runs down the anterior surface of your rib cage, goes from ribs 2 through 9, stabilizes that shoulder blade on top of your scapula, or your rib cage, sorry. All right, so you can reach back here, and what I want you to do is just press up, right? So there's a little bit of play, so you're gonna be able to lift that platform and drive up. With your opposite hand, press down into the ground, right? And that's gonna help with the rotational component around your spine, right? Because that's what you want on impact. Now, one thing you also wanna look to do with spike attack is you wanna learn how to actually get back into that position. So just slide back a little bit further, and we're going to have you focus on pulling your arm down into the crossbar. Right now, obviously, the spike attack happens with the arm coming through forward from a flexed shoulder position going into an extension force. But here what we were trying to do is get further into that shoulder flexion, generating that force. That gets those muscles into your lower trap, your posterior deltoid, obviously your bicep and tricep are involved to stabilize your elbow. So those are some things that we can look at from a shoulder attack perspective. Now, if we're looking at passing, and we're looking at a bump position, right? One of the things that we can look at just from a stability standpoint, and I'm not saying only do this, you still have to practice the skill of the pass, right? But you can get under here and learn to stabilize and really kind of get in positions, right? So I can learn how to adjust my body to build a solid platform. So when that ball starts coming faster and faster from a velocity perspective, when you're getting into the professional ranks, when you need to get over and be able to absorb, the ball traveling at, into the hundreds of miles an hour potentially, like 100 plus, right? So you got to get down and basically learn how to pass that ball. Other things we got to think about. Hip stability. Can we stabilize our hip structure? Can we be here from a lunge perspective? So can I drive that left leg down, drive that right leg down learning how to stabilize and get strong in these positions. And if I'm able to do that, my spike performance and my attack and my passability, right, can I get there, are going to improve. Now, just so you don't think I make this stuff up. So a couple of my former clients were part of Team Canada. We have the second highest measured touch height in volleyball history. We helped Schwan increase his vertical touch height 3 inches in 7 hours of training. A guy named Sam Pedlow, the year after we sort of worked together, he won FIVB, Most Improved Volleyball Player, on the beach circuit. And then Grant O'Gorman won the first gold medal for Canadian men down in Sydney, Australia. So it's tried, it's tested, it transfers over to volleyball. We also have a whole bunch of other sports that we're doing really awesome at. Anyways, that's how Isophit can help your daughter's volleyball. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao.